We're riding on board with Carl in his Division 1 Superkart. Here at Snetterton, his blast off. He makes a pretty good start, especially compared to some of the guys around him. And his blast off, as I say, going into turn 1, Richie's. It's quite an interesting corner. It's quite a fast corner. You've got to carry the speed through it and out of it as we go on to another little straight into the first real pinch point of the lap. You've got to be very careful at the start of these races, as you can get a little bit bunched up. Into the walls and hairpin we go. Great place to overtake. And a bit of a struggle getting out of the corner there. Look at all that power that these Superkarts have. Unbelievable. Right, into Palmer, the first left-hander on the circuit. A very quick one. And back onto another infield straight, going into the Agostini hairpin, the second of the 2 hairpins here at Snetterton Circuit. On the 300 circuit today, this is race 2 of the British Superkarts here at Snetterton. This was on the 10th of July 2022. The weather was absolutely boiling this weekend. Lovely for the drivers, to be fair, outside in the paddock, you know, in between races, but the drivers did have to be a little bit careful with their karts to prevent overheating and stuff like that. Another little slide just shows how powerful these karts are. As we go into Williams, this corner is very important to get a good exit out of, because we're now going on to the Bentley Straight, which is one of the longest straights in British motorsport. We can now see what these kind of karts are capable of. As we approach the bridge and going into the Brundle and Nelson S's, he gets up to about 140 miles per hour into Brundle and Nelson. As I say, a very technical part of the circuit, a very quick part of the circuit. You've got to be very opportunistic if you want to make an overtake here. Another fast corner coming up, the bomb hole, very quick. And now into one of the most enjoyable corners, I'd say, for the drivers. Round corner we go now. This is a proper flat out corner. Little bit of a lift, and look at that slide through there. And you've got to get it all slowed down again for Mowes, which is the final corner. While bearing in mind, you go on to another long straight here, the Senna straight, the main straight. So you've got to get a good exit as well. So you're thinking about a lot, but that's the first lap of the Snetterton 300 circuit complete. I'm your commentator, Louis Hedge. Thank you very much for joining us today. If you're new to Superkarts, well, welcome. This is going to be a great experience. You're going to love it, I reckon. You know, I'm going to be able to maybe talk you through a bit about the Superkart Championship. We've got someone off there on the outside of the Wilson hairpin. But you know, if you know about Superkarts and you know you're a regular viewer, welcome back. Strap yourself in anyway, because it's always pretty frantic. You know how quick these things are. And yeah, we're going to have I'm sure it's going to be another great race. Carl was starting 7th here on the grid at Snetterton. You can see there's someone else going off there, maybe retiring, maybe a kart problem going on there. That's going to be maybe a bit regular today with how hot it was. I was saying, you know, the karts with hot conditions like these can overheat, so you have to bear that in mind, as you say. So you know, it's not all about driving as quickly as you can. Sometimes you do have to conserve the karts a little bit. As I say, going on to Williams here, onto the Bentley Straight. It's great to see these karts, you know, being pushed to their limits. You know, the Bentley Straight is such a long straight. You know, they can really get through the gears, and that's great to see. Having said that, while Snetterton is a very quick circuit, you know, we've got 2 massive long straights. We've got a few fairly quick corners, that being one of them, Brundle and Nelson, after the very long straight. We've also got some very technical sections. You can see on the map on the top right hand corner of your screen, the infield section. Now there's some great parts to that circuit, really challenging actually. So it's cool to see the drivers push for karts on the fast bits, but through the slower bits as well. You know, it really tests their driving skills. As well as this, it's a great opportunity to overtake. This is your first sort of, just to let you know, we've got the timing on the left. This is your first sort of lap time, 1:51.074. We're now on to lap 3. But bear in mind, the touring cars, the British touring cars, will aim to sort of be getting about a 1:54. That's the lap record at the minute for BTCC. So it just gives a little bit of a comparison about how quick these karts are compared to maybe, well, compared to all the championships that are probably bigger than them. Right, back to the race then. Carl, who we're riding on board with, is closing in on the car ahead, so shows he's got good pace. Starting 7th, as I said. He's really gaining now. The straight line speed on this guy is looking very good. So into the Agostini hairpin, where's he going to be able to make a move? He may have to sit behind and wait for the car ahead to make a mistake. That's how you often do have to overtake around here. You've got some very fast corners which you've got to be very opportunistic to overtake in. Into Oggie's quite a fun corner, quite a difficult one to get right, as he sort of slides the car, maybe loses a bit of time there. Now back onto the Bentley Straight. Hopefully he'll pick up a bit of a tow, a bit of a slipstream down here, and that'll help him close in. and it's looking to be working actually. He's getting there. He's not going to be close enough yet to make a move, but stuff's looking promising as we go into the bridge, into Brundle and Nelson. Great section of track. Great place to watch as well, I'd say, especially on the other side, on the outside of the circuit, in my opinion. We're coming to the end of the lap, and now this is more the faster part of the circuit, in my opinion. I know turn 1's very quick, and you've got some faster sections in the infield, but that part of it is very much the technical section of the track. Intermo is a personal favourite of mine. Great viewing from the grandstand there. And as I say, it's important to get a good exit, like it was Williams on the other side of the circuit. Important to get a good exit onto the centre straight. Now onto lap 4. That was a 150.059, another improvement. 4 seconds quicker than British touring cars, just to have a little bit of comparison. And remember, you're only a couple of inches off the ground in these things, so it really does show how cool they are. The pinnacle of kart racing. Right, into the Wilson hairpin, closing under braking, which is going to happen. He seems very quick through this infield section, but also the kart up ahead, he's closing in on the kart ahead of him. So we'll have to see. Maybe they'll fall over each other a little bit, and then Carl here will be able to slip through. Let's wait and see. They've definitely closed in. They're much closer. So if they start battling a little bit and holding each other up, Carl, ever the opportunistic driver, will be able to slip through. Let's wait and see. Into Hamilton, one of the faster corners of the circuit. Difficult to get right because you don't want to run out wide, especially on one of these things. You've got some very big curbs here at Snetterton. A few sausage curbs, you know, at Murray's and a few other places. So you've got to be very careful because you don't want to be losing momentum. Those two karts up ahead are definitely a lot closer now. They're going to start battling by the looks of things. So that's going to hopefully open up the door for Carl here to have a go and maybe even overtake. Let's see, into Brundle and Nelson. I keep mentioning these corners, but I think it's a great section of track. They're side by side up ahead, and they are so close together. That is very brave going side by side through there. Into the bomb hole, they're still nose to tail, and while these two guys are having a great battle, it's great to see, it's great for the fans watching here in the Norfolk sunshine. They're side by side through Coram. Wow, that's brave. You don't always see that. You wouldn't see that in British GT or touring cars or whatever. There's 3 of them now. Here we go, side by side. There's a slower kart on the right. Do they have a problem, or have they just lost momentum? That doesn't matter, because here comes Carl. He's got a good run. Elbows out, I'm coming through. Look how close that was. He was sitting in the slipstream right till the last minute. We've got another slower kart on the left hand side into Ritchie's. Wow, that was a frantic end to that lap. We're now on lap 5. That was a 1:49, so considering there's a bit of traffic there, a bit of battling going on, that was very good indeed. Right, into the Wilson hairpin we go again. Rattles over the curb. Luckily, just avoided the sausage curb that was on the inside there. Right, into Palmer now. Not really able to close in too much on these corners because obviously they're very quick, and you know it's easier to close in on the slower corners, but he's definitely closing on the straights here. He's getting a really good toe, really good slipstream. Into the Agostini hairpin. Great place to overtake because of how slow it is. Oh, we had someone go up the inside. That was the number 84, right? 84. And he's side by side with the 31 up the inside. That was opportunistic. Job done. Great move there. And this is turning out to be a great little race. Right, into Oggies. We've got a slower car on the outside there. Slip through him, past him quickly, and onto the Bentley straight. Right, here comes the slipstream effects. You can see how powerful it is once we get down on the power, down on the accelerator, down the Bentley straight we go. He's closing. Now, is he going to be able to go for a move here? Well, let's see. Past another car, into Brundle and Nelson we go. Gets it slowed down, but not too much actually, because it's all about momentum through there, which you might not see in bigger kind of cars or whatever. Through the bomb hole, another very quick corner. He's closing all the time. Into Coram we go. He's not quite going to be able to have a go on the number 31 kart yet. Here is he. He has a little look at through Murray's. Wow, look at that. Just controlling the kart as it was getting a bit wobbly through there. Coming out of there, he gets a good toe. He goes to the outside. He's got his nose in front. He's got the whole kart in front. Great move. That's another position gained. Onto lap 6 we go. Into turn 1, Ritchie's. Great corner. You've got to be careful not to run out wide though on that curb. Bit of a moment through there, and he gets up the inside again. That's for number 31. It's turned out to be a great little battle, isn't it? Into the Wilson hairpin. Sorry, we go. 31 gets a little bit of a slide, get a bit of a wobble going on there. Let's see, can Carl snap back at him? We'll have to see. Maybe not through Palmer. No, he's not quite close to do it there. It's difficult to make any sort of move through Palmer unless you're already alongside going into it. He's got a good run. I said the Agassini hairpin was a good place to overtake. He brakes late, elbows out, I'm coming through, doesn't outbrake himself, he clips his apex. That's a great job there from him. Bit of a slide. Now, can he hang on to it? Will the 31 be able to snap back? Does he have an answer for Carl? Let's see. Through Hamilton, another very quick corner around here. Here comes the 84 diving up the inside of Oggies. I said it was quite difficult to overtake there, but Carl gets a great switch back on the inside and gets the job done as we go into Williams there, back on the Bentley straight. He may not have the advantage though, as although he's in front, the kart behind will have the toe, will have the slipstream. We've seen how important that is this race, especially around a circuit like here at Snetterton. You know, because there's two big long straight line performance is very important, as is the slipstream. You know, a circuit like Cadwell Park where it's very twisty turny, you know, it doesn't matter as much. It's far more technical maybe than Snetterton. You know, as I said, there are some technical bits here, but you've got to have the all-round package, an overall quick kart, as well as, you know, being a very good driver in that infield section. Through Murray's, we're coming to the end of lap 6. It's been a very eventful lap. It's been a very busy lap. The last few laps have been very full on. That's what you should expect from Superkarts if it is your first time watching. If it is, you know, it's a great championship. I definitely recommend getting into it. So it's one of the best undiscovered gems of motorsport, or UK motorsport in particular as well. We visit some great circuits around the UK. You know, Donington Park is a personal favourite of mine. Cadwell Park, Alton Park, Snetterton here. It's brilliant. Right, two slower karts there battling it out. Carl slips through quickly. We're on lap 7 through Palmer, obviously named after Jonathan Palmer, owns MSV. Snetterton is one of the MSV circuits, and what a facility Snetterton is. It had a major revamp quite a few years ago, sort of 10 years ago now, making the 300 circuit. It's just under 3 miles long, and it offers a real mix of driving styles, and it's great fun to drive. From what I've heard, all the drivers say how positive it is around here. It is a bit of a workout though, by the looks of things. You can just see how much some of these drivers have to sort of fight their karts because of how powerful they are, but it sounds great fun to drive. Back down the Bentley straight, you can see by the graphics on the bottom left hand side of your screen the speeds Carl here is achieving. Up to 140 miles per hour as we go onto the bridge right about now, and then slowing it down, making sure the kart is nice and controlled going into Brundle and Nelson. Onto another little straight which then leads onto the bomb hole, a very quick corner. Little bit of a dip through there. You'll probably notice with it being in Norfolk, it's a very flat circuit compared to a circuit like Donington Park or Alton. It's very flat. You remember this used to be an airfield used by the US in the war, but as we come back up the centre straight, the main straight, at the end of lap 7, it should be another improvement lap time wise. It's been a quick one, a 1:49, and that is the end of the race. What a great race it was. A fist pump to the air from Carl in celebration, and that was a very entertaining race. Wow, and take a breath. Just shows how great these superkart races are. Massive grids, over 40 karts on the grid, bear that in mind. Through Wilson we go, and yeah, Carl's very pleased with that. That's P2. He finished after starting 7th, so it was a great attack through the field, getting lots of overtakes done, lots of great battles as well. It wasn't always easy. He didn't just slip through. Liam, who won this race, has escaped up the road. He got the job done. He did a very good job. But well, you can see by Carl on the screen, he's chuffed with that one. P2. That's a great job from him. Through the Agassini hairpin, and this is the cool down lap now. He can take a breath after well, I would say he's still going very quick considering he's in a superkart. You can see by the graphics on the bottom left, just over 80 on this cool down lap. Well, it's going to be difficult to cool down whatever you do today here at Snetterton, because it's very warm weather. As I said, it's very nice for the drivers. Maybe a bit of a strain on these karts, but yeah, you can see how much that means to karts. It's a great result for him, the team. You know, a lot of effort goes into that. Little wave to the marshals there. Remember, you know, motorsport, without them it doesn't happen. So a massive appreciation to those marshals who volunteer, remember, you know, and stand out here in very hot conditions in their bright orange overalls. They do a great job. So thank you very much to them, and thank you very much to British Superkart Racing Club for holding such a great event. You know, it's been a fantastic weekend so far of racing. This is race 2, and as we now come through Coram and into the final corner, celebrations will begin for Carl, as that's a great result this race. Past the grandstand at Murray's and down the centre straight. He follows the leader, another celebration to the camera, to the fans. He's chuffed with that. It's a great result. Into the pit lane he goes. Thumbs up to the marshal, who gives him a round of applause. Rightly so, well deserved. Down the pit lane. You can see how good the facilities here are at Snetterton, you know, how much they've progressed over the years. Down the pit lane, see lots of people watching. There you go, another celebration, few thumbs up, round of applause for Carl, great job to him. And it just sort of shows the atmosphere of the Superkart Racing Club. I've been your commentator, Louis Hedge from Hedge Works Motorsport. Thank you very much for watching.